Hello. Today we are recapping The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 18, Episode 5. Let's jump right in. The episode opens up with Emily and Shannon having breakfast. Shannon talks about how she felt about last night at the dinner in London and that she felt attacked by everybody. Meanwhile, Katie and Tamra head to the spa. They also talk about what happened last night at dinner. Tamra says she wishes Shannon would take some accountability for something. Tamra then says in her interview that Shannon lives way beyond her means and throws money around like she's a multimillionaire and she's not. So, spilling a little tea there. Pretty mean. Jen and Gina head to the pool. Gina talks about how Shannon showed her text messages from Alexis confirming that she was a part of the lawsuit with Jim Molino, Tamra, and Shannon, and that she sent those text messages to Tamra, and Tamra was like, oh, just kind of brushed it off. So Tamra knew that Alexis was a part of the lawsuit, and she's still befriending her, basically. Heather meets up with Shannon and Emily as they're having breakfast to talk about last night as well. So Shannon says that she feels betrayed by Heather, and then somehow gets sidetracked onto, like, the John lawsuit thing, and she's like going off on how she's not going to pay John because she's paid for so much in the relationship, and then she brings out these like crumpled up like basically notes on like how much she paid for like trips and dinners and things like that, and Emily and Heather are just like cracking up. They're like, you don't have this in an Excel spreadsheet or something, you have it on like crumpled up note paper. So they're just like dying laughing. Like, Shannon's just gold, TV gold. Gina and Jen discuss how Heather mentioned she felt used by Shannon and the whole like bringing that like picture up from her DUI, and they think it's ridiculous that Heather feels like that. Then they talk about how Heather was upset about the mammogram and how Heather sent them a text about not saying something about her family member having breast cancer on camera, so they're calling her a hypocrite. So basically Heather sent a text like, okay, I'm excited to like, let's go get our mammograms together, but please don't bring up, and then they blur it out about like, I think some sort of family member. She's like, I don't want to talk about that on camera. So then the girls are like, well, so you didn't want us to like talk about anything about like your mammogram on camera. They were just confused. I mean, I kind of get it. She was like, Heather was like, I don't want to talk about my family. You can talk about me, but don't talk about my family, like in a text. But they're just kind of like, I think, grasping at straws, being like, oh, we don't like Heather. Then Gina tells Jen that Heather was talking crap about the dress that Jen wore to the tea party, Shannon's 60th birthday tea party, because it was a $2,000 Dolce & Gabbana dress, and she said, why was she spending so much money on a dress if she has financial issues? That's what Heather said. Then Tamra says the same thing to Katie. Why is Jen spending this much money on a dress if she is only getting $6,000 a month in child support? Tamra then goes into the FBI thing with Ryan and tells Katie that Ryan's business partner is a bookie and the FBI are investigating him. The girls head out to take a double-decker tour bus in capes and tiaras, per Shannon's request. So of course this is Shannon's birthday trip, so she always wants to be in costume, so she got everybody tiaras and like capes to wear on this double-decker bus, which I think is so funny. And it's so funny because Shannon was like, well, my tiara is just a little bit bigger because I'm the queen. Cute. While they're on the bus, Gina brings up the whole mammogram thing with Heather and how she doesn't get why she is so upset. Heather retaliates and says, you don't need to talk about my family's medical history like I requested, but you could have asked me what happened to me and my test results. They kind of get into a back and forth with each other about things that they have upset each other about, so it's kind of like a back and forth argument, and nothing really gets resolved in the moment. Jen, Emily, Shannon, and Gina get off the bus and take an old-time photo together, which is very cute. They all dress up like, I don't know if it's medieval time period or something, but they all get dressed up and take a picture. It's cute. After they take the photo, they talk about how Heather and Tamra are ganging up against all of them and being like mean girls, which I totally agree with. After that, the girls head to dinner, and Jen asks Heather why she was talking about her dress at the tea party. So, of course, Jen now knows about Heather talking about the dress, the Dolce & Gabbana dress, so she confronts Heather, which I applaud Jen. Like, don't be scared of Heather. Go right after her. Heather says she's just worried about Jen and apologizes and said she should have called her about the whole situation. Like, Heather's sitting there like, I was just worried about you. Like, you're only getting $6,000 a month and you're paying, $2,000 for a dress. I'm just worried about your financial situation. I should have just called you. Like, okay. Then Jen confronts Tamra about the cycle of apologizing and then going off on Jen, and she's just so sick of the back and forth. Tamra kind of gives her a half-assed apology at the table. Shannon confronts Tamra about the Alexis text, saying she knew, like Shannon sent her the Alexis text, and Tamra knew about it, and she's still befriending her. Tamra tells Shannon to shut up and basically dismisses everything she said, and she said she is done with her. So Tamra says she's done with Shannon. The girls head back to the hotel to have a nightcap after dinner and then head back to their room and dance and have fun. So they're all like taking off their clothes and like dancing around and like kind of drunk. And it's really cute. I like these like cute little moments that we get to see with the girls. It's not all just fighting. We can have a good time, even though usually it's drunk times. In the morning, Shannon and Gina go over to Jen's room to have coffee, and Shannon brings up the text from Tamara saying that she is going to do a background check on Ryan. I can tell you this does not go well with Jen. She freaks out. Jen obviously is pissed and storms up to Heather and Tamara's room and confronts Tamara. She comes in hot and starts screaming at her. Tamara denies everything, of course. She's like, I didn't do a background check. I've never done a background check. It wasn't a background check. Tamara basically says that like he was a loan officer, so she had her friend that's in real estate make sure he was licensed or something. I didn't really like this. Heather kind of belittles Jen in her interview and says she didn't know that Jen could even get that loud and that she was impressed. Like Heather's saying like, oh yeah, good for you, Jen. Like you actually have a voice. I didn't really like that. Kind of mean girl. Heather's very mean girl with Tamara this season. So then Jen screams at Tamara and says, leave her family out of this, like out of the show, and then storms out of the room, and that's how the episode ends. I hope you enjoyed my recap. What did you think of the episode? I will link down below a playlist to all the other episodes in this season. Hit that subscribe button to check out all my other recaps. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will check you on the next one.